I am Dr. Isaac Halliday with Lodestar Physical Therapy. I'm the owner of Lodestar Physical Therapy. And for our very first Spotlight series, we have Ben Fogel. And so excited to have him on the show. He's a veteran strength coach with over 20 years of experience and a former World Cup and World Championship athlete. He's known for his no-nonsense approach to helping people build strength, improve health, and train for the long game of life. Ben, how's it going, man?
Great, Isaac. Thanks so much for having me.
Yeah, I'm glad to have you. Let's dig into this. Like, what an intro. Like, holy cow, World Cup soccer?
No, not soccer.
Tell
My kids
everybody about it.
wish, yeah, my kids wish it maybe was soccer. Back in 2003, I graduated from college and I was a discus and javelin thrower at Division I level in track and field. And I ended up trying out for the bobsled team that summer and made it my first year and ended up living out in Lake Placid, New York, Calgary, Alberta, because my our strength coach was Canadian. So I spent about almost 7 years competing on the World Cup circuit for bobsled and competing in world championships for 2 years, '04 and '05. And so yeah, it was quite the run. Got to travel all over the world and compete at a really high level, which was kind of always my goal. Going from track to another sport, I always wanted to, potentially make an Olympic team, which I did not make. An Olympic team, the '06 games was the year I would have made it and just missed out that year, but competed throughout the 2000s, really.
Right on. Oh, that's so cool, man. Um, yeah, that is awesome. So, yeah, world Olympian, champion, all sorts of stuff. That's cool. How has that like affected what you do in personal training, things like that, or just
Yeah,
life in general too?
yeah, there was lots of lessons to be learned over those, I mean, competing as an athlete for, almost 20 years of my life at a higher level. During those 7-ish years of competing in bobsled, I learned what it was like to be a true teammate because in that sport, you train as a team, right? You've got 2-man and 4-man teams. And you learn really quick what it's like to be, what it means to be a really great teammate. What I learned in that sport as well is how important recovery is, how important it is to take care of your body, even when you can't really control your environment. You travel all around Europe, you can barely get a good meal, um, and you've really focused in on how you can best support your teammates, um, the coaches that are supporting you, but also your body and taking care of your health and your wellness. So I think it translated a lot, shifting from competing at that high of a level to shifting into like business ownership. Because now we cultivate a team around us. We've got a really awesome team here at Epic Fitness now. Um, I'm pretty competitive still, so that competitive fire helps with owning a business. And then also, I'd say a little bit of grit and extra grit and resilience when you have failures occur, whether it's in a business or in your body or in your health. It's really important to be resilient and to look at failures not as failures, but as lessons learned. So
Yeah, I love it. What made you want to go into owning your own business and personal training at
yeah,
that?
I'll kind of give you the quick and dirty answer here. It was 2006, September, October of '06, and I was making a big life change. I was moving from Calgary, Alberta, where I lived for about 3 years. This is post Olympics '06. Didn't make that team that year, but I ended up making a big change in my life. I moved from Calgary to here to Salt Lake City, Utah. I had drove my old beat up Toyota pickup truck with everything in the back that I owned down here to Utah with probably less than a couple $1,000s in my bank account. And I had nothing. Like I had no plan, no job, no nothing except for a new team that was believing in me and they lived out here in Utah. We're going to train out of here. So that was the next plan was to go for the next quad, the next 4 years and try to make the Olympic team in 2010. So with that being said, I didn't have, like I said, didn't have a job, but I had a degree in exercise science when I graduated and took that hiatus into bobsled. So I'm like, I got to get a job now, to support myself. So I literally just applied to every big box gym in the area and got picked up by one of the first places I applied to and became a personal trainer through that way. And I thought, for me as a personal trainer, oh, you know what? I'll just train every pro athlete. I'll train all the Olympians because they'll love to hear my story. And I'm the most qualified person to do that. Well, no, I was dead wrong there. Like, first off, I had zero experience. I had I knew how to train myself, but I didn't know how to train other people. I didn't know how to write a program for somebody that's 35 or 55 years old and deconditioned and just wants to feel better and move better. I'm like, I don't know what that means. Like, I'm gonna push myself to the limits. Like, why don't I push you to the limit and you'll get better? No, that's not how it works. So, um, some real quick hard quick and fast failures to learn that I'm not training Olympians. I'm not training. I'm training, weekend warriors and people
Yeah.
that just want to move better, feel better. And so that was a really good lesson for me early on. Is like, how can I make a program and introduce strength training to the masses and do it in a way where it's accessible for a lot of people that otherwise, wouldn't want to do it. The people that are the most scared of traditional strength training are the people that maybe were, felt like they weren't being seen or heard or cared for. So those are
Mhm.
the people that really I started to gravitate towards that I could help, and that's how I started my personal training career.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's awesome. It's it's funny that you're like, yeah, I'm gonna go see all these athletes and we're gonna just train Olympians all day because I know when I started my business, I was thinking similar too. I was like, hey, we're gonna get all of the people are just gonna come in and we're just gonna be
Yep.
making all these people just awesome. And then you're like, wait a minute, that real life hits. So you're like, oh, wait, I guess that's not the population that
Mhm.
that's really gonna be showing up right here. So um
Yeah.
yeah, it shows that resilience, that grit of just like, oh, gotta pivot a little bit. Um
Yeah, and I'll go into real quick how Epic Fitness was born.
yeah.
So I had that personal training job for about 6 years, from '07 to 2013, and all of us know kind of what happened in '08, '09. Big shift in the economy, and it affected the big box gym I was at, where you know um, we were all employed. All of us as personal trainers that were there were employed by the gym, and then they had to make a big pivot in 2009 and be like, you know what, we can't pay you what we've been paying you, which was a large percentage of what we were taking in as personal trainers. So at the time, I was comfortable. I was, making pretty good money, and I was increasing my client list and all that stuff. But in '09, they're like, you got a choice to make. Either you can make a much smaller percentage and stay an employee of this facility, or you pay us a booth rental, become an independent contractor, and
Uh,
you're in charge of your own stuff. Um, you're paying us every month this flat rent. So basically paying rent for the space. And I chose that route because I'm like, you know what, this is going to build me into more of entrepreneur mindset, a business
uh-huh.
owner mindset, but still, I was the only employee. I couldn't hire anybody under their roof, otherwise I had to pay double the rent, possibly. I don't even know if I looked into that, but it was one of those things where from 2009, 2013, I was building my book of business and building Epic Fitness, um, until we got, I guess, too big to fit inside their box anymore. And it was 2 days before Christmas of 2013, it was December 23rd, where they wanted me to sign a new contract, independent contractor contract, and it would limit a lot of things, where I,
Mhm.
I couldn't potentially move within 3 or 5 miles to run a business, and I wasn't going to sign anything. So they basically kicked me out, which was actually the best thing that could have ever happened,
Yeah.
because 5 days later, I signed a lease. I moved into a space and I opened up Epic Fitness within like about 4.5 days. So,
Oh, awesome. That's
so that's,
wow. Opened it up and that's a quick start to
Well,
a
we
full
had Christmas
business.
week off, or I gave the clients the
Yeah.
week off. Once I gave them the news, I had about 50-ish members then, and about 45 followed us over, which was pretty awesome.
That's
And
awesome.
said, "Hey, take the week of Christmas off. We'll be open next week, hopefully. I'll let you know." And we basically moved in over a weekend. And
Wow.
I had been storing and collecting, I guess collecting a lot of fitness equipment. So a lot of stuff that you see, because Isaac, and I know you remember here at Epic,
Yeah.
the white power racks, all those
Oh
Avamco
yeah.
plates, like all that stuff was in a 10 by 10 storage unit for like 5 years. I've been collecting it from 2008 or 7, 2008. And I just been like, it's just collecting dust. I'm like, am I ever going to do this? Am I ever going to like follow my dream
Yeah.
and just open a gym? Like I was so scared for 5 years to do anything until I got that boot. And I'm like, you know what? It's the best. The best thing that ever could have happened to me was them saying, get the heck out of here. You're not going to
Yeah.
sign our stuff. You don't belong here. And so um, it was a great kind of start into to a new start, new beginning for me. So
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome. Just I love the story. Just been collecting stuff. We all have that like rack in our basement or
mhm.
treadmill or something that just dries clothes.
Yep.
And you're like,
Yeah.
I got a lot of that stuff. Let me just
I
finally
had
put
nowhere
it
to
in
put
a
it.
space. Yep.
Yeah.
That's
Yep.
awesome. That is cool. What a cool story. So, yeah, and so now you've moved locations since then, right? Like,
Yeah, 2013. It was December 29th we opened, so just before the new year. So basically, we opened Epic Fitness, I'd say officially in 2014. Um, and 2014 to 2021, we had a space down near the Brickyard in Mill Creek. Um, and we expanded. We expanded in 2019 to another, 1,800 square foot space. So we had like almost 4,000 or just over 4,000 square feet. Everything was going great. And then 2020 happened. Everything
yeah.
tightened up again. We had to close for 6 or 8 weeks, however long it was. We reopened with limited capacity. We weren't doing what we were doing before, and it was really hard. And then, yeah, in 2021, this opportunity came up for a building that was for sale after it was a dance studio that shut down. And we were lucky enough to find it, put an offer on it, and get accepted. And so we moved into here, our new space here in Mill Creek, which is like a half mile from our old space, which is great for our members to
Yeah.
move with
Yeah.
us. Um, in June of 2021. So we've been here since almost 5 years now. Just crazy to think.
That's awesome. Yeah. And it's
Yeah,
an awesome space too. Like it's way cool.
thank
You've
you.
done really well with organizing it all and just the equipment you have. It's absolutely beautiful. So
Thank you,
I'm a
sir.
bit jealous of it. Um, so yeah, tell us about like what you do at Epic that's different than other places. Kind of what makes Epic Epic.
Yeah, yeah. Um, I like to tell people, like most people when they walk into a gym, and usually it's a big box gym, or they're paying the $10 or $20 a month membership dues. They walk into a gym and the first thing they do is probably get on a treadmill or a bike and just start pedaling or walking or jogging, and they don't have a plan, right? People just don't have a plan for their fitness or their health or their strength. And so the main difference is when you walk into Epic, every single person that walks in has their own customized plan that's really unique to them and their starting point. And the cool thing about that is we could be training, you, Isaac, we could be training you alongside a 78-year-old female that has two total knee replacements, a total hip, or whatever it is. And then next to you and this amazing 78-year-old female, we can have an Olympic hopeful, in the sport of skeleton or bobsled. And the cool thing is the
Mhm.
coach can train all three of you together because you all have your own custom training plan based off of where your starting point is and where you want to go. So that's the biggest difference. I say our biggest difference between like our main competitors, which are going to be like your CrossFit gyms, large group training mainly, Orange
Yeah.
Theory, F45. There's a few of those around us. Is we're not that. We're not the large group training. One coach to 25 or 30 people. I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I think for certain population, maybe people that are in their 20s and early 30s that can work for until it doesn't work, which
Yeah.
you know, it a lot of people, as you age, you know this, Isaac, as a physical therapist, you see clients that come in, they're like, as you age, we're at desks all day long, so we're here and we just completely got become kyphotic. Our shoulders don't move like they did. We can't do Olympic snatches anymore, all those things we used to do when we were
Yep.
kids. And so I feel really strongly in helping those people that go into a class format, cannot do the movements. It's hard for the coach. It's hard for a coach. I think it's hard for any coach if they're coaching 25 or 30 people to be able to kind of give a customized approach to someone who can't do a certain movement, and if that's the only movement that's targeted in the workout, right? So um,
Right.
we're the kind of the antithesis of that. So we are going to be very small, very private. It'll be a coach working with 1 to 4 people at a time. We shares it really helps share the cost of what personal training usually is, because most personal training services could be between, in this market, $100 to $150 an hour. And that's really not us. We do things in that small private group format. So
Oh,
you're really sharing the cost. Oh,
I think your sound cut out a little bit.
oh,
Either that
sorry.
or my earbud did one, one or the other.
Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, 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 yeah,
Awesome. So yeah, so you're really sharing the cost with other members. It creates and cultivates more community that way, and we build a lot of cool relationships with members. We have members in here that didn't know each other from anybody when they walked in the door, got to meet somebody, trained in the same hour, and now they train the same time every week, every time,
yeah.
and they don't not train. They train together the entire you know for the last time. I can give you an example of a couple ladies, Allie and Charity. They've been trained together here for the last 8 years, 3 days a week, don't miss a workout together, and didn't know each other at all outside the gym. So it's pretty cool building that kind of community as well.
That's awesome. Yeah, it really is a cool community there. And like you just show up and you're like, oh hey, and like everyone's just so friendly. It's really cool. How many trainers do
Awesome.
you have there at Epic now?
Yeah, I think a total, I mean, we have about 4 full-time coaches on staff and maybe 3 more part-time coaches on staff, so
Okay.
7
Yeah,
total. Yeah, and we have
cool.
um, really great support here with a member success director, and then we have a lot of other pieces of the puzzle that helps out a lot.
Yeah,
So
that's cool. And you guys do like corporate stuff too?
yeah,
What's that
so
about? Yeah.
yeah. So for any businesses that are interested, we do corporate wellness, and so we have 2 partners right now. Mill Creek City is one of our partners. They've been with us for almost just over 2 years now. And the cool thing about Mill Creek City is they come to us. They're less than like a mile
Oh, nice.
away. So they come twice a week for classes. We do custom classes for their staff. And we also do quarterly lunch and learns, educational talks. It could be nutrition, wellness, fitness, sleep, whatever topics they want to discuss. We'll go in and do a lunch and learn quarterly, along with in-body like health check-ins. So we'll check body
Cool.
compositions, give them tips and tricks on nutrition and all that. We do that as well with a private company out in West Valley. So we find working with companies that have between 1 to 200 employees, so small to medium businesses, works really well. Um, it's for leadership, the HR and the owners that really believe that health and wellness can change their teams, their culture, and kind of we've looked at it now. We've been with one company for over 8 years, and we've saved them over 20% in their health insurance premiums year
Wow.
over year. And so like they look at it as like we're investing this money for you, but we're saving way more than what we're putting into the program. So it's paying off, So
Yeah,
um when companies realize how much they can save on, health insurance premiums, on sick days, absenteeism, on just morale and
yeah,
the culture change that happens. We are super enthusiastic about those changes and what occurs, especially being in person. We'll go out to that facility. We built like a 5,000 square foot gym for them. So our coaches go out to
Wow.
West Valley twice a week for that client. Does we do two classes a week, twice a week. So it's really kind of high touch, hands-on work. So, if there's businesses out there that are,
That's cool.
maybe have a fitness facility or a gym that's underutilized, that isn't getting a lot of love, or you need a coach and a professional to go out there to run a program. That's what we do.
That's awesome. That's cool. Yeah, and you mentioned, fitness decreasing health costs just in general, right? And saving money. But what would you think? Because there's a lot of ways that we can do fitness and things, right? There's like
Yeah.
online programs, oh man, there's big box gyms, there's
AI now. Yeah.
AI now, right? What would you say is like the biggest misunderstanding about wellness, or I don't know, the biggest
Yeah.
like thing that you're like, man, if this could just go away, like people could really break through
Yeah.
with their
The,
wellness.
yeah, I think the most common misconception we get from new members is the workout has to be different every time I walk in,
Hmm.
or I need to be sore every time after a workout, or um, I should be on I hate the D word, but I should be on a diet to lose weight. Um, all three of those things are, I think, I feel strongly they're all myths and they're all untrue. I'll talk about the first one. So, um, the workout needs to be different every time. No, that's why they call progressive resistance exercise. So, we build out training blocks that last 4 to 6 weeks, to ensure that the client is making progress, so they can see over time that you've added a little bit of load, you've increased your ability to, to lift more, lift a little heavier, do a little extra repetitions, whatever the thing is we're tracking. You can track that over time with a similar exercise, so you're making progress. So, um, and this has been known for the last 60 plus years. There's been research on progressive resistance exercise. But after 4 to 6 weeks, your program will update and change as you get stronger. And so we really believe strongly in, yes, making updates, making small tweaks and changes based on your goals and your needs. The second myth I talked about is being sore every time. A lot of clients come from the CrossFit community or Orange Theory or F45, or where they really just, every workout's different, every day's different. You're going to get your butt kicked and if you're not sore tomorrow, then, well, hell, it didn't really count for anything. Um, that's a myth and it's untrue. So, um, now, new novel exercises, yes, you might get sore from doing a rear foot elevated split squat or a Bulgarian split squat, as we know them. Yeah, you might
Mhm.
get sore if you hadn't done that for a year, with just your body weight, which is normal. But are you going to get sore the second, third, fourth, fifth time you do them? Hopefully not. You shouldn't be, because your body adapts to the training, your body adapts to that level of soreness, and we want you to, like, what our goal is for our clients is, we have a 65-year-old male in here that just wants to look better and feel better. We can't make that client so sore on Monday they can't show up on Wednesday to repeat the workout. We'll
Yeah.
be losing money, or and we'll be losing clients. So, our goal is to make it repeatable, right? Push them to the edge of where their comfort zone is and where their level of experience is, but not past that level, and allow them to show up the next day feeling pretty dang good. Now, soreness will happen, but not every workout. Then the third myth, what was the third myth, Isaac? Um,
Diet.
oh, the D word. Yeah, so
Your favorite word.
diet. Yeah. Um, do you have to be in a calorie deficit to lose body fat? Yeah, you do. But uh, do you have to track every calorie you eat? No. There's so much evidence to support that we usually will either under track or over track our calories in a tracking app.
Mhm.
We use more behavioral change approach, so we'll use small little habits. Like, we'll ask you, Isaac, if you say you want to came into Epic Fitness, you're like, not that you have to, but he's like, I want to lose like 5 to 10 pounds. And that was your goal, right? We wouldn't say, hey, get on this diet. Like, you're gonna have to track 1,800 calories a day, because we know based off of your in body, your basal metabolic rate is, 2,200 calories. So if we get you in a 500, 600 calorie deficit, you'll be good to go. Nope. The body doesn't really work that way, and it's really hard and tough to track. And clients over long enough time don't do that. They won't do it. So what we do is we will ask you for like a 7 to 14 day food journal. We'll ask you just to write down everything, not the calories, but just like the amounts and what the food is you're eating. And then we'll just look at any gaps, right? And we'll ask the client, hey, it looks like around 2, 3 o'clock every day you go for that Coke or Dr. Pepper, or you're going for that sweet treat. In place of that, can we try one extra serving of protein? Or can we try an extra glass of water for 2 weeks or whatever it is? So we'll start with just small little like micro changes and keeping them accountable to that. And what normally happens is if they can change one small habit, it kind of it snowballs into other things. So we don't
Yeah.
love the D word. We don't ask people to go on diets. We ask them to change one small behavioral habit every couple weeks or so.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I love it. I love it. And I love your intake process too on a new client, right? That comes in your door. Most gyms that I've gone to, it's like, hey, cool, yeah, welcome. We got the the gold program, the silver program, the platinum program, like which one do you want? And you guys like actually will like sit down with the client. Can you run us
Yeah.
through that like little process that you guys do? Because I think it's
Yeah, yeah.
awesome. Yeah.
Yeah. So initially we'll hop on, we call it a discovery call. So before they walk into the gym, we want to get on the phone and just make sure that we're a potential good fit for them and they're a good fit for us and our community. So that takes about 15 minutes. And once we understand more about them and know we could definitely help them, then we schedule that strategy session. So that introductory strategy session, completely complimentary. People come in, takes about an hour to an hour and 15 minutes. And you did mention it is a
Yeah.
robust, a pretty robust screening process. So what we'll do during that hour is we'll dive into they'll have filled out a health history and a goals questionnaire prior to coming in. We'll review all that. We'll review in detail their goals. We call them their I wills, the things they want to accomplish over the next 6 to 12 months. What that looks like for them. From there, um, we'll take that information and we'll also do a functional movement screen after we review all their health history. And during the functional movement screen, I know you're familiar with this, Isaac, there's 7 base movements where we're looking at mobility, stability, their strength, core stability, also any asymmetries from left to right sides, and also looking at pain provocative tests for shoulders and for the lower back and flexion extension. So we can kind of clear a lot of clients from painful movements. If they do come in with any painful symptoms during any of the movements, they usually go to you if it's something
Yep.
we can you can help them with. Um, but it really helps us create that unique starting point that the client will need to start at. So instead of throwing them into a class or a large group program, they start out in that very small, more private approach, where every single exercise is curated based off of what we screened them on. And after that, we'll do a full tour of the facility, show them around, show them what it'll look and feel like as they become a member, because they'll have access not only to the coach-led sessions or the personal training sessions, to the client-led sessions, but also our classes. So they'll have access to all of that,
Yeah.
we uh, and then we come back, sit down, and we give our professional recommendation of which membership option will probably serve them the best based on their goals, their needs, their budget, time, all that stuff. And then let them decide kind of what they feel
Yeah.
would work best for them. So that's the overview,
That's
really.
cool. Yeah.
Yeah,
And that's right. And that's also where you kind of go over, you said you go over their goals. So that's where they would kind of talk about their, if they want to lose weight, they talk about their food and they bring their journal and all that stuff and
yeah,
kind of
yep,
sit down, and that's awesome. And then obviously you mentioned it too, like if they are hurting in some of those motions, how do you determine like, hey, this is something that we can kind of help correct as personal trainers, or we need to refer you out to either a physical therapist or someone else? How do you guys
yeah.
like go through that, determine?
Yeah, great question. Um, Usually, a lot of it's in their health history. So, I'll give you an example. A gal came in yesterday. She had a slap tear in her shoulder years ago,
Hmm.
and she says it's still hard for her to go overhead, like do any kind of exercise or movement overhead. And and so you get curious in the session, and I asked her, I'm like, well, how long has it been bugging you, since the tear, since the surgery and all that? She's like, anytime I do anything overhead, like my upper back is on fire and my shoulder hurts and this, that, and the other. And then you're like, okay, well, I'm not going to screen you for the trunk stability push-up. We're not going to do that today, but we are going to look at um, what your general mobility looks like, and if there's any pain in
Yeah.
the impingement sign test that we do that you know
Yep.
of. And so if she doesn't clear that, let's just say she didn't clear that yesterday. We connect with you and say, hey, Isaac, we got this new client. Um, we're building out a program. We've got some questions for you, or we think this could be a really great client because she's done PT in the past and had success with it, and she doesn't needs a new PT home or whatever. So
Mhm.
we'll normally refer out in those circumstances when someone comes in with a major kind of underlying medical condition or surgery that they still are hampered by and still have an issue with.
Yeah.
So that's usually where we'll have you step in and help us out.
Yeah. No, it's great. And we've helped you out quite a few times with a lot of your clients, and it's been
Yeah.
great. And then we just send them back to you, and you guys just continue to
Yeah.
build the strength and
Yes.
keep them back from not coming back to me.
Yeah. Well,
Hopefully.
that's the
Hopefully.
goal. Yeah. Yeah. It's been great.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's awesome. With this last little time left, and maybe we should have started with this, but like I want to just talk about you and just let people know who you are as the owner. Um, Father of two boys.
Yeah. Dean and
Yeah,
yep. Yep. So my boys are 12 and 13 now. Dean and Roman, they're really active in their lives. They both play competitive soccer right now. Um, they're really loving it. My oldest, Dean, he actually learned how to pilot a bobsled this last winter season up in
yeah,
Park City. I was his brakeman for the last week of a camp, which was really a lot of fun, just doing that with
that's
him.
awesome.
And I never piloted a bobsled. I was always the push athlete. I was the dummy in the back, and I'm still the dummy in the back. Um, Not that brakemen are dummies or anything, but I think the driver's a little smarter to get up in the front seat to be in control of that sled. But he did awesome. So like all that is really really awesome and fun to see, be a part of, because Dean now has a goal to compete in the Youth Olympic Games, and the Youth Olympic
Oh,
Games
cool.
happens every 2 years between the Olympic Games. So the Youth Olympic Games will be in 2028 in Cortina, and he'll be 15 and a half, a kind of a perfect age um, to start and roll into that sort of competition. So
Yeah.
we'll see what happens there. And then obviously, as we all know, 2034 is right around the corner. It's going to happen before we know it. And gosh, Dean will probably have 8 years of experience on this home track in Park City, and
Wow.
also not only 8 years of driving. If he continues it right, like I'm not pushing him at all. You
Yeah.
can tell I'm not pushing this at
Yeah,
all.
yeah.
He actually loves the sport. But in 2034, he'll be 21 years old, and as a 13-year-old, he's already almost 6 feet tall. Thanks, mom, and also a pretty athletic kid. And he actually did a combine test for USA bobsled 2 weeks ago and performed really well. He almost ran a sub 5 second 40-yard dash, which
That's
was
crazy.
surprising to me. Had his hand in the dirt in a 3-point stance for the first time ever, and he's usually just running up and down the field, running after soccer balls, and running after people. So it's kind of cool to see that transfer over without not a lot of like track work. We did a little bit of
Yeah.
stuff, but so yeah, I'm really proud of that. Raising my kids is my number one priority right now. I'm a cancer survivor, so we train a lot of cancer survivors because we've kind of attracted those types of
Yeah.
people, which is really awesome. I was diagnosed with a really rare form of leukemia back in 2015.
Uh,
Went through 2 years of chemotherapy and been in remission now for it's going to be almost 9 years, 8 years. So I'm
awesome.
healthy,
Yeah.
and go up to Huntsman Cancer Hospital every 6 or so months to get everything checked out. But
That's
that's all
awesome.
been well, and our family's been afflicted with lots of lots of cancer and lots of that stuff, and we just keep fighting and keep pushing along. So
Yeah.
um,
And
that was
we
another big,
could, yeah, I was like, and we could probably talk the whole hour about how
yeah,
personal training and the right amount of exercise for cancer survivors or even those with cancer, like too much is too much. It's not
yep.
good for you, but too little is gonna,
It,
you
it's
just got
all
to
in the
hit the right amount. And
it's all in the
yeah, that's
dose.
a,
Yeah, for sure.
yep. Wow. Yeah. Well, man, is there any last little tidbits of knowledge or wisdom that you want to share with everybody? Um,
Yeah, I'd say if you have an injury and have something hampering you where you can't exercise currently, you're in a tough spot, right? Like that. Definitely give Isaac and his team at Lodestar a call. We refer um, so many clients over that he's helped that we are 100%. And I use you as well, so I go to you for my neck and um, old bobsled injuries
oh,
and
bobsled injuries.
I'd say definitely go to Isaac, and then you know we like to say we love to be able to bridge that gap between physical therapy and training to our clients that have had injuries, have had surgeries. What Isaac does a great job of is once people are ready and get back in the game and get into a strength training routine, Isaac's great at getting them kind of basically kicking them out the door, graduating them to be able to do strength training. And I feel like we're a really, really great place to start that journey. And hopefully a great place to stay in that journey, and to continue to get stronger and more fit. So, I'd say if you're watching this and you're in either of those positions, hopefully we can be of help for our community out there.
Awesome. Well, thanks for the plug. This is a
Yeah, and
spotlight on you, and thank you.
I,
That means a lot, though.
yeah,
Where can people find you if they want to get in contact with you? Like website,
yeah,
email, social
yeah. I'd say
medias.
yep. Just Epic Fitness Utah, all one word. EpicFitnessUtah.com is our website. Connect with us there. Also, you can check us out on socials. We're really active on Instagram. It's just Epic Fitness Utah. Also on Facebook, same thing, Epic Fitness Utah. Um, you can also connect with me if you want to email me. It's just Ben at epicfitnessutah.com. Super simple. Love to hear from you. And yeah, any way we can support our community out there, we'd love to help.
Awesome. Well, Ben, it's always a pleasure to chat with you, and but yeah, I mean, we'll have to do some more in the future. Again, there's so many things that we could just talk about.
Yeah,
So we'll have to maybe in the future
let's
we'll hit another one from the first,
yeah,
and then we'll first
let's definitely hit.
ever. Here we go. Yeah.
Yeah, awesome, man. You did a great job, Isaac. I
But
love the talk today. Thanks so much.